they're going to have that 28th clean sheet of the season.
With the last few seconds, really. Burnley have got a free kick on the halfway line. They're attacking the two-tiered Jimmy McElroy stand to our left-hand side. They have just made one last change with Luca Koleosho coming on. In doing so, he handed a note to Josh Cullen, who takes the free kick. It's sent out to this left side corner. He will just try and hold the ball up from the Bristol City defender, the substitute Ross McCrory, but he couldn't do so. He's just taken the ball out of play, so it will be a throw-in close to the corner flag. The goal that was scored was in the first half, 16 minutes. It was a stunner from Zian Fleming, 25 yards out, right-footed, left of centre into the top left-hand corner of the goal. A goal certainly worthy of winning the game, but Burnley will be ruining the chances, particularly Jadon Anthony, who could have scored a hat-trick. He's been busy in attack, but the one in the first half in particular, on the penalty spot, goal gaping in front of him, but managed to weakly play the ball straight at Max O'Leary. Bristol City have a throw, still deep inside their own half. They do get it to the halfway line, but Josh Cullen, Republic of Ireland international, steps in, clears the ball into the Burnley fans on the lower tier of this two-tiered stand, alongside stand on the near side of Turf Moor. Bristol City take the throw. It comes back to McCrory on the halfway line for Bristol City, on the right, in towards the centre circle, where Cullen wins it back for Burnley, and Lyle Foster with a chance now to break down the right-hand side for the Clarets, gets it to the edge of the area, but he's dispossessed on the edge of the box by Jason Knight, the Bristol City captain, as the Robins try and break away. Koleosho stepping in as a foul on the far side. Bristol City have a free kick. We've had a minute over the 3 that have been added. It's a long ball towards the end of the Burnley penalty area, but it was headed away by Maxime Esther, but it will come back. It's Bell on the left side for Bristol City. Is there a late chance as he sends a ball into the edge of the area? It's floated in the box, and it's a shot straight to the goalkeeper from Hirakawa, the Bristol City substitute. That signals the full-time whistle. Burnley have sealed it 1-0. It really should have been more, and then right at the death, Bristol City could have equalised.
That's just incredible, isn't it? They've been so poor in the game. They never asked any questions, Bristol City, of Burnley throughout the whole of the 94 minutes. And that Hirakawa opportunity just at the end of the game there could have sealed them a draw away at Turf Moor. It was a great opportunity, but I have to say, Liam Mallon must be absolutely seething with his players, because it wasn't a good performance today. We talked about Vermetti and Armstrong in the first half. Well, they got took off. They made those changes. Bell came on. Naki Wells never really got themselves in the game because Bristol City couldn't get the ball into the final third, but it's a big win for Burnley.
Full time, Burnley 1, Bristol City 0.
It's still 2-1 to Leeds here. 7 minutes of added time. Goal at Carrow Road. Where has this come from? Darren Ambrose and Dave Rowe.
Remarkable. Norwich 1, West Brom 0 in the second minute of stoppage time. Josh Sargent has got the goal for the home side. It's been created by Marcelino Nunez, who has offered a good touch of quality since he's come on, and Sargent's taken it so well in the area, played in by Nunez. Sargent, lovely first touch to cut inside, get the better of Holgate and Bartley, and then find his shot beyond Wildsmith, and Norwich, Darren, have got a goal.
At last, the one bit of quality we've seen all game, and it was Nunez, the substitute, with a lovely through ball outside of his right foot, in behind Mason Holgate. Just showed his quality, cut inside Cole Bartley. Cole Bartley tried to block it, looked like he was going to slide, cut inside, and a lovely kind of stab finish into the far corner. This game was petering out for a draw, and the one bit of quality created the goal. 1-0 Norwich.
We've had to wait all day for it. We've got about 3 minutes to go of stoppage time. Norwich 1, West Brom 0.
We are in injury time here at Ellen Road. Quick one, Ian Stringer, what's been going on?
Yeah, we've got 4 minutes to go, 97 in total, and fair play to Swansea. They're pushing, and the nervousness is back amongst Leeds. They're defending well, but all the possession at the moment is with Swansea. Leeds are going to try and cling on here, Adrian, and rely on a counter-attack, of which they threatened one there, but actually the ball's gone backwards from goal scorer Willie Nonto. We've got 3 minutes to go of added time. It's Leeds 2, Swansea 1.
Well, Leeds trying to win a free kick in the middle of the park. Referees having none of it. Aberdeen get a fourth against Motherwell, 4-1. It's Kevin Nisbet again. It's full time at Cardiff for TalkSport's Ian Danter.
Cardiff City 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. So Cardiff's gap to the bottom 3 extends to 2 points with this draw, and it's now a 5-point gap rather than 6 between Wednesday and the top 6 with that late goal at Carrow Road. So ultimately the point gain for both here might help both, but they were going for the win late on, both hosts and visitors. Cardiff had the lead in the 21st minute. Deserved to be in front at half-time. Isaac Davis, his second goal of the season in the Championship, drilling a left-footed shot low into the bottom corner after being fouled by Will Alves after a strong run. But Wednesday, who were utterly dreadful in the first half, got better in the second, got the equaliser on the hour. Bannon, with the only corner of the game that the Owls won, floated across onto the head of Michael Ahikwe, who planted a firm header past Ethan Horvath to get the equaliser. Half chances there on in, but not enough to get a winner. Cardiff City 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Still playing here at Ellen Road. Leeds lead 2-1. Stoke have won, and so have Portsmouth at Fratton Park. Ian Abrahams.
Pompey 1, Blackburn 0. Portsmouth 7 clear of the bottom 3 with 7 to play, and that should just about be enough. Or one more win would absolutely do it. The winner here, Josh Murphy in the first half. Colby Bishop's ball through to him, finished brilliantly with his right foot from about 15 yards out, just left of centre. Corley Woodrow and Hayden Carter had good first half chances for Blackburn, who dominated the second but couldn't score. Just over 20,000 here. Pompey 1, Blackburn 0.
Late National League winners for Yeovil and for Boston as well. I can tell you that Middlesbrough beaten Oxford, that Stoke have beaten QPR, Sunderland have won as well against Millwall 1-0. We're still playing here at Ellen Road. Ian Stringer.
2 minutes to go at Ellen Road. It's Leeds United 2, Swansea City 1. Willie Nonto in the 87th minute with a goal at the moment that looks like it could secure all 3 points for Leeds, but Swansea working hard in their all-black kit, attacking the end to our right-hand side, the Norman Hunter stand, but Leeds United doing all they can to take the air out of the game. I don't mind telling you, there was a gentleman to my left-hand side, 3 rows ahead, left 10 minutes ago.
What?
With the game at 1 apiece. I hope he's listening on TalkSport on the way home. Sir, you have missed a cracking finale to this game. It remains 2-1 here, Adrian, but as Swansea try and come forward, they might fashion a half chance, and they've equalised! Swansea have equalised deep into added time. Vipotnik hard and low with his right foot. That is a hammer blow for Leeds United's promotion spot. And celebrating a Swansea, and celebrating will be Sheffield United. Vipotnik, the substitute, in the 96th minute with his right boot hard and low for his 6th of the campaign. Leeds United have turned off. A ball inside right. It finds its way into the box. He's got plenty to do, by the way. I don't think Ilan Meslier has covered himself in glory yet again for Leeds United. Yes, he saved the penalty first half, but he gifted goal 1 to the Swans, and he's gifted goal 2. I'm sorry, he's got a hole in his hand there, Adrian. It's gone straight through him. Leeds 2, Swansea 2.
Well, there's some half-hearted, pathetic challenges from Leeds players as Swansea made their way towards goal, but you're bang on. Ilan Meslier, and Daniel Farke's now got a big decision to make. Does he take his keeper out the firing line? Remember, he made a good save in the first half. He saved a penalty in the first half, but he is literally handed Swansea 2 goals in this second half, and he's the reason Leeds won't be winning this game.
You've got to take him out of the firing line, Adrian. This is game 39 in the domestic campaign for him. We've got seconds to go. Leeds are going to try and pump the ball forward. It's going to go straight through to the goalkeeper. The referee is going to call time on this game very, very soon, referee Ben Toner. But the advertising boards around here show us that Flamingo Land are one of the sponsors. I tell you who's pink-faced today. I'm afraid it's Ilan Meslier. He's gifted 2 goals to Swansea City, and what looked initially as though anything you can do, we can do better from Leeds after Sheffield United last night won 3-0. I'm afraid Leeds United, having been 2-1 up in the last few moments, have gifted Swansea City. Let's give Swansea a bit of credit, shall we, as well, because yes, Mellier's let the 2 in, but they've stuck at it. They've tried, they've pressed, they've harried, and I think that Alan Sheehan's side, on the balance, Adrian, on the balance, probably deserves something from this game. A point, no more than a point, but they're going to take their point, I think. The ball's going to be hoiked forward here, and the full-time whistle here at Ellen Road, Adrian, is imminent. 2 apiece. The referee looks at his watch once, and there it goes. The full-time whistle goes at Ellen Road. It's a hammer blow for Leeds United. It's a last-gasp equalising goal for Swansea. It comes from the boots of Vipotnik, hard and low. Meslier, the villain, I'm afraid, having been the hero in the first half. Leeds 2, Swansea 2.
Well, that leaves Sheffield United 2 points clear at the top of the Championship table. What I will say is, Swansea, they kind of settled for a point at 1-1 and then had to come back for a point at 2-1 down and got it. I think they could have won the game because Leeds were not at the races. They had a goalkeeper who was all over the place yet again, Ilan Meslier today, and Leeds have dropped points. Leeds United 2, Swansea 2 is the full-time score. Sheffield United top of the table on 83, Leeds on 81, and Burnley on 81 as well. Burnley with a 1-0 win. What happened to the Stadium of Light? TalkSport's Graham Courtney.
It finished Sunderland 1, Millwall 0. Bill, big talking point. Wonderfully worked goal in the 20th minute, put away by Trey Hume, the Sunderland defender. It was all down the way. It had all been sorted out, no doubt, on the training pitch. Second half were a bit nervy for Sunderland, actually. Josh Coburn should have equalised for Millwall in the 70th minute. Sunderland actually did have a late penalty, but it was a spot kick shocker by Luke 09. Easy one for the goalkeeper to save. Massive relief for Sunderland fans. The playoffs beckon. Millwall dropped to 13, 6 points adrift to the top 6. They're running out of time. Finish at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 1, Millwall 0.
Well, if you didn't stay to the end at Norwich, you missed the only thing that happened. Darren Ambrose and Dave Rowe.
Yeah, Norwich 1, West Brom 0. All about stoppage time here. Norwich winning it on 90+2. Josh Sargent converting after good play by Nunez in midfield, and then after that, West Brom going so close. Bartley's header denied by a great save by Gunn. The rebound by Dean Garner was cleared off the line. We had to wait all day, Darren, but what drama at the end.
Yeah, it was real drama. It was a real poor game, lack of quality until the very end. 90+2 the goal. Nunez, lovely through ball. Josh Sargent, great turn inside, lovely finish, and then a wonderful save at the very end by Angus Gunn from a Kyle Bartley header. So all in all, real poor game. One quality, won it for Norwich.
Key result in the playoff race. Norwich now 5 points off the top 6. Norwich 1, West Brom 0.
Full time at the Riverside, Alan Biggs.
Middlesbrough 2, Oxford 1. Borough close to the brink of the top 6. Oxford hover over the drop at the other end of the table. It needed a big turnaround from Borough. Listless first half, boos at the break. Michael Hellick with the only goal of the half for Oxford, but Kelechi Iheanacho finally bagged his first Borough goal just afterwards, and it was Neto Borges with his first Borough goal who won it. A deft finish from him, and both crosses for those goals came from Sam Illing Jr. to set up the win. Middlesbrough's performance in the second half fully deserved it. Middlesbrough 2, Oxford 1.
Right, let's fill you in what happened at the Bet365. Matt Jones.
And it finishes Stoke 3, QPR 1. Stoke give themselves breathing space down to the bottom 3. They had a commanding 2-0 lead at the break thanks to goals from Jun Ho and Chamadu. They then extended that straight after half-time. Manhoof was man of the match and he got a deserved goal in the 54th. QPR did rally and they pulled one back late on through Yang with an excellent strike from the edge of the area. But they're now 6 without a win and they're not safe themselves. Stoke 3, QPR 1.
Let's get full time at Birmingham in League One. Adrian Clark.
Birmingham 4, Shrewsbury 1. The leaders stay 9 points clear at the top of League One with a 9th straight home victory. Goals from Davis Laird and 2 for May swept the visitors aside in a really impressive display. A late consolation did nothing really for Shrewsbury's survival hopes. With 8 games to play, they're 14 points adrift of safety. Birmingham need just 6 more wins from their final 9 matches to break League One's record points tally of 103. Based on what I've seen here today, they'll cruise it. It finished Birmingham 4, Shrewsbury 1.
Wrexham also won 2-0 at extra. All the full times coming up. What happened to Wickham, who are also going for automatic? Rebecca Adams.
Well, it's finished Wickham 1, Lincoln 0, but it took Wickham until the 66th minute to get on the score sheet, and that was thanks to Cameron Humphreys. It was just a single shot on target for Lincoln, who frustrated the home side, though, in this scrappy match, and after winning the reverse fixture in November, Wickham have now got a first league double over Lincoln in 20 years, but they were far from convincing today. It's finished Wickham 1, Lincoln 0.
And let's head into League 2. Full time at the Bestcote, Adam Bridge.
Walsall 1, AFC Wimbledon 1, so Walsall stay clear, 1 point clear at the top of League 2, and that's courtesy of Taylor Allen's 87th minute free kick to cancel out that goal by Omar Bougiel, which came 17 minutes earlier. They've got a tough week coming up, maybe a season-defining week with Doncaster and Port Vale, fellow promotion chasers, on the way, but that's 6 draws in 10 now, and they've only won 3 games since Nathan Lowe was recalled by Stoke. As for Wimbledon, they slipped down to 5th in the table with that point, still pushing for a playoff place. Full time here, Walsall 1, Wimbledon 1.
Really is incredible that Walsall are still top of the table. Now the only place for a full classified check on national radio is here, TalkSport. The results are in. Let's get the full times.
This is game day.
Full time classifieds.
In the FA Cup quarter-finals, it finished Fulham 0, Crystal Palace 3, Brighton Forest 5:15 kick-off is coming up live on TalkSport. Sky Bet Championship, Hull 0, Luton 1, Watford 0, Plymouth 0, Burnley 1, Bristol City 0, Cardiff 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Leeds 2, Swansea 2, Middlesbrough 2, Oxford United 1, Norwich 1, West Brom 0, Portsmouth 1, Blackburn 0, Stoke 3, QPR 1, Sunderland 1, Millwall 0. In League 1, Charlton 4, Huddersfield 0, Stockport 2, Burton 1, Birmingham 4, Shrewsbury 1, Blackpool 2, Bolton 1, Bristol Rovers 1, Mansfield 2, Cambridge United 1, Northampton 1, Exeter 0, Wrexham 2, Reading 3, Peterborough 1, Rotherham 0, Crawley 4, Wigan 1, Barnsley 1, Wycombe 1, Lincoln 0. League 2, Accrington 0, Bradford 0, Crewe 0, Port Vale 1, Barrow 0, Chesterfield 1, Bromley 2, Salford 3, Doncaster 3, Carlisle 0, Harrogate 1, Gillingham 1, MK Dons 2, Fleetwood 4, Morecambe 1, Swindon 0, Newport 0, Notts County 2, Walsall 1, Wimbledon 1. In the Panorama National League, Forest Green 1, Solihull Moors 0, Barnet 3, Gateshead 1, Boston 2, Sutton United 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Maidenhead 0, Ebbsfleet 2, Altrincham 2, Halifax 0, Hartlepool 1, Rochdale 4, Aldershot 0, Tamworth 2, Eastleigh 0, Woking 2, Braintree 1, Yeovil 1, AFC Fylde 0, York 3, Wealdstone 0, Southend Oldham is at 5:30. National League North, Brackley 2, Scarborough Athletic 0, Chester 1, Curzon Ashton 1, Chorley 4, Spennymoor 0, Farnsley Celtic 0, Hereford 4, Kidderminster 3, Peterborough Sports 0, Leamington 0, Kings Lynn 1, Marine 0, Alfreton 0, Needham Market 1, Buxton 2, Oxford City 1, Radcliffe 0, Rushall Olympic 2, South Shields 1, Scunthorpe 2, Southport 0, Warrington 2, Darlington 3. In National League South, Aveley 0, Torquay 1, Bath 0, Hemel Hempstead Town 0, Chelmsford 0, Truro 0, Cheshire United 4, Welling United 1, Dorking 3, Eastbourne Borough 1, Enfield 0, Chippenham 0, Hornchurch 2, Weston-super-Mare 4, Maidstone United 4, Boreham Wood 0, Salisbury 2, Tonbridge Angels 0, Snowburn City 1, Farnborough 0, Weymouth 4, Sloughtown 0, Worthing 2, Hampton and Richmond Borough 0. Scottish Premiership, Aberdeen 4, Motherwell 1, Celtic 3, Hearts 0, Hibs 3, St Johnstone 0, St Mirren 5, Kilmarnock 1, Dundee Rangers is at 5:30. In the William Hill Scottish Championship, Ayr United 3, Dunfermline 0, Morton 0, Partick 1, Hamilton 0, Wraith Rovers 3. In the William Hill Scottish League 1, Alloa 2, Dumbarton 3, Annan Athletic 2, Kelty Hearts 1, Arbroath 1, Cove Rangers 0, Quinn the South 4, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1, Stenhousemuir 2, Montrose 3. In Scottish League 2, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Elgin 1, East Fife 4, the Spartans 2, Forfar 0, Peterhead 0, Stirling 2, Edinburgh City 1, Stranraer 1, Clyde 2. In the Women's Championship, Blackburn 1, Southampton 0. In the Cymru Premier Championship Conference, Ballatown 0, Cardiff Met 0, Haverfordwest 1, Carnarvon 1, Pennebont 1, the New Saints 0. And in the Playoff Conference, Britain Ferry 1, Connors Quay 0.
Game day. The big guns are out. FA Cup Game Day live on TalkSport.
Takes his run up and sends it low to the goalkeeper's left. Dells makes the save, and Nottingham Forest, the quarter-finalists of the FA Cup.
What a time to be a Forest fan.
Solly March into Welbeck, and he hits the back of the net. It's Danny Welbeck. He's put Brighton into the quarter-finals of the FA Cup.
It is arguably the most open FA Cup in years.
Well, Palace are already there. They're in the semi-finals. Who's going to join them? Brighton against Forest. Let's remind you of the lineups. It's coming up live on TalkSport. Jim Proudfoot.
And Brighton line up like this for Bruggen in goal. Hinshelwood, Van Hecker, Webster and Estupinian, Baliba and Ayari, Minte, Ruta and Mitoma, and Welbeck up front. Forest with Sells in goal, Aina Milenkovic, Murillo and Williams, Yates and Danilo, Dominguez, Gibbs-White and Anderson, and Awonyi replacing the injured Chris Wood up top. Wood missing the game against his former club because of that hip injury that he picked up on international duty with New Zealand.
Jim, thanks very much. Stuart Pearce, who scored in an FA Cup final, is alongside Jim for commentary at the Amex, and First of all, let's step back. FA Cup has been brilliant this year. We're at the quarter-final stage. Palace already through, and these two, I think, have been brilliant at times this season. They've been great to watch, and we're looking forward to a brilliant FA Cup quarter-final. Brighton against Nottingham Forest, two good sides.
Yeah, it's been a really good competition, the FA Cup. In the league, both of these have been outstanding. Forest, obviously, where they are in the division, Champions League place is an incredible story. Brighton just gets stronger and stronger as a football club, and one of these teams has got the opportunity for that Wembley appearance and have a tilt at getting to the final.
Tomo Awoniyi is a fairly decent replacement, actually. He's had his spells where he's managed to score goals for Nottingham Forest. It's not like they haven't got a striker to replace Chris Wood. So, yeah, Wood is a big miss, but it's not a bad replacement.
No, you would say it's like for like. To be fair, don't lose track of the fact that Awoniyi kept Wood out the team for a long spell prior to sort of Chris Wood this season maybe coming in and having the best season he's ever had. So it's a good like for like, if you like, in many respects. But I think they'll miss Wood today. I really do. He's on form and whatever, and they've chose to leave a couple of their flying machines up front out as well, which is an interesting team selection.
Yeah, they've done that before, and it's actually worked for them. Is it Nuno has this little plan, doesn't he? I'm intrigued by Brighton, how you stop Brighton, because they've got some good players and they are right in form at this moment in time. Is it just a case of one-on-one and not letting your man get the better of you, or tactically as a team can you do something?
Well, it's filling up areas. I know when we put teams up against Brighton at West Ham, they caused us big problems. They overload a central area and they play through you particularly well. They've obviously got two wide players that are very hurtful to you when they run at you. So, and Danny Welbeck, a player I've worked with, is on outstanding form, leading from the front as well. So, listen, they'll fancy their chances today, Brighton. They'll be hurting from that 7-0 defeat in the league, and it'll be an intriguing one.
You know Danny Welbeck very well. Are you surprised that at the age of 34 he is looking this good in the Premier League?
Knowing him as a boy, no, because great professional, loves the game, really he was just fantastic to work with, to be fair. And the way we talk about 33, 34, 35 years old, we shouldn't be surprised this day and age with this sports science. I think we are, but we shouldn't be. And you can play for as long as you actually want, you know, as long as you look after yourself, and certainly Danny is one of those that does that.
Listen, Forest haven't been to the semi-final since you were there in 1991. They got all the way to the final, took the lead in that final, as you may well remember, Stuart Pearce. But at this stage, quarter-final stage, is this where players start to think to themselves, hang on, we can create some history here?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think you look around at what's in the other ties, who you might be facing. Brighton will be looking and saying, Crystal Palace, wow, what a derby game that'll be. We know the rivalry between the two. Forest will be thinking, well, Palace on our day were good enough to beat them as well. Palace will be thinking, yeah, whoever they send through, there might be an upset at Preston. So this is the round that everyone really starts sort of having a good look at, on a potential final route.
Indeed. Tomorrow, join me from 1 on TalkSport. I'll be at Bournemouth first up to bring you commentary of the FA Cup quarter-final between Preston and Aston Villa, and then the final quarter-final between Bournemouth and Man City is live on TalkSport. FA Cup quarter-final Sunday live on TalkSport from 1 tomorrow afternoon. Let's take you to the South Coast for live commentary of the second FA Cup quarter-final today. Brighton were semi-finalists 2 seasons ago. Forest haven't been semi-finalists since 1991. Big prize then for the winner, Brighton Forest. Here's your commentary team of a man who scored in an FA Cup final, Stuart Pearce, alongside Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good afternoon to you for the latest tie in one of the mouth-watering FA Cups for years. Down to the last 7 sides in the competition, 4 of whom have never won the trophy. 2 of the 3 that haven't done so for more than 65 years. There are a number of sides who genuinely think that this could be their time, including these 2 former clubs of Brian Clough, meeting for the first time today in the one competition that famously he never won. But it was Clough who last won a quarter-final with Forest 34 years ago. And they haven't reached the last 4 since getting to the 1991 final. Whilst Brighton do have recent semi-final experience, Their one appearance in the end of season showcase was back in the early 80s. And this is how they line up as they look to move with
Nilo behind Taiwo Awoniyi at the top of the park. Chris Wood out injured in international duty with a hip injury. But Hudson-Odoi is on the bench, and so is Elanga. So they too have options from the bench for Nottingham Forest. Well, the two sides face up, and our referee today and dignitaries, Peter Banks, our referee, just now making sure that Ryan Yates and Danny Welbeck make sure that the coin toss is done fairly, and everybody shakes each other's hands, and we settle down. We've not been to the Amex Stadium. It is a wraparound stadium, and the stand where the camera's vantage point is the biggest of the stands. It slopes down around the other two, but either way we will be viewing from just above the two technical areas down beneath the camera vantage point. All eyes will be on which side settles first. All eyes will be on which side reacts better to the 7-0 drubbing. Do Forest think they've just got to turn up to win? Well, that's one thing all Forest fans will be thinking no, and Brighton fans will be saying it can't happen again, can it? Forest go into a huddle, Brighton spread out, no huddle for them. And it's going to be Brighton that defend the goal away to my left-hand side as I face the pitch. And Nottingham Forest defended the goal away to my right as I look down on the green baize as Forest come forward to take the centre. Yates stands over the ball. He's going to roll it backwards into the Forest half. So Anderson will let it run all the way past him, and it goes through to Matt Sells, all yellow, away to my right, stops outside his penalty area, dumps it long, out on this near side, first header away by Minte. Forest pick up the ball on the halfway, Minte turns it forward, Welbeck layoff, Ruta with a lovely little drag back, upended in the middle of the park this time though, got away from Anderson, and brought down a foul for Brighton, about 6 or 7 yards inside the Forest half, which is to the right of the halfway line. Where the ball's being placed, it's more like 11 yards inside the half. Jack Hinchelwood stands over the ball, the free kick. To take it, goes back to Van Hecker, up to Ruta, back to Hinchelwood, and we're a little further back than where we started with the free kick. Back it goes to Jean-Paul Van Hecker, who comes forward, plays it out to Minte. Minte tries to take on Williams. Williams very quickly into the challenge on this near side. The ball squirts away for a Nottingham Forest throw, right down by the corner flag, defended by their left back Williams. This near side. Halcyon days. Nottingham Forest, some eyebrows raised by youngsters, but they did have some great days under the legendary Brian Clough and Peter Taylor. Williams throws the ball forward. It's won back by Brighton, helped on by Danny Welbeck into the Forest penalty area, way to my right. A couple of harmless bounces before Sells picks the ball up and rolls it out to the right back, Aina. Aina, 6 yards outside his penalty area, way to my right, back inside to Milenkovic and square to Murillo. Murillo, who made his debut for Brazil against Argentina this week in the 4-1 drubbing. Ball goes over the top. Awoniyi gets himself through, plays it out far side, bit of a break on here. Dominguez clips it back in towards Awoniyi, headed away by Van Hecker and Webster. Picked up by Gibbs-White, 12 yards outside the Brighton penalty area, away to my left-hand side. Gibbs-White plays it out to Williams. Williams stops it down by the dead ball line, tries to play it in, comes off the legs of Jorginho Ruta. It's going to be the first corner of the game. And it'll go the way of Nottingham Forest. On the side, looks like it's going to be Danilo that comes across to take it. First set piece, often a bit like a first service match in a game of tennis. It's a little bit of a worry. I'll make sure you got it right. Danilo will swing this away from goal. Goal away to my left. Verbruggen looks out to his right, down by my feet. Into the box it goes, headed away by Verbruggen. Put back in by Williams. Headed away this time by Minte. Matoma tries to head it on. Aina stops it, chests it, volleys it forward out towards the corner taker Danilo, but it's too long and too strong and out of play on this near side, midway inside the Brighton half, which is to the left of the halfway line. And right back Hinchelwood will look to take this throw. Into the 3rd minute, Fabian Hertzler versus Espirito Santo. Hinchelwood still trying to eke a few more yards down this near touchline. Throws it to Ruta, brings it down, puts it over his shoulder, cleared by Murillo. Van Hecker above the head of Awoniyi. Balaba back to Hinchelwood, up to the halfway line, headed away by Yates. Strong header by Estepina. Murillo turns it all the way back to Matt Sells from midway inside the Forest half. Sells' clearance isn't great, but it's managed to get up towards the Brighton back line, where Hinchelwood plays it up to Welbeck, who gets a real good old-fashioned charge on his shoulder, but the ball breaks nicely for Brighton, just about on the halfway line. Estepina plays it to Matoma, back to Estepina, who's 6 yards inside the Brighton half, which is to the left of the halfway line. Webster receives it, goes square to the right-sided centre half with Van Hecker. Van Hecker 6 yards inside, 12 yards, clips it in towards the heart of the Forest defence, headed away by Milenkovic towards Murillo. Williams has to hack it over his shoulder. Anderson gets it down, good towing by Minte. Balaba goes for a crossfield ball, cut out by Aina. Aina and Dominguez get themselves in a bit of a pickle, but the loose ball comes off the chins of Mitoma, and then it's played forward towards Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White with a clever flick, tries to run around Adam Webster, but realises that the big centre half on the left-hand side for Brighton is in pole position and rolls it all the way back to Bart Verbruggen. Back out to Webster, across to Van Hecker. 5th minute of this FA Cup quarter-final. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Brighton have the ball in their half. Webster up to the halfway line, finds Estupina, who tries to lay it back a little bit awkwardly, it has to be said, to Ayari, who manages to tidy things up, but Forest with a good press here, forcing the ball back to Webster. Webster square to Van Hecker. Van Hecker shy of the halfway line, lifts the ball over the top, looking for Minte. Flag goes up on his near side. Offside given. Minte had just gone a little early. Nico Williams new on this near side. Well, it's been a lively start. Hard-working start, as Anderson has the ball in the middle of the Forest half. Short pass to Dominguez, back it goes to Milenkovic. Milenkovic square to Murillo. Murillo round the corner to Danilo. Danilo out to Williams. Williams hooks it on towards Awoniyi, helps it on. Gibbs-White tries to run beyond, but Webster will play it all the way back to Verbruggen, who takes a touch, almost shut down by Gibbs-White. Real pace there by Gibbs-White. In fairness, as Verbruggen tries to clear the ball, it's blocked slightly by Gibbs-White, but still balloons away on this near side for a throw for Brighton and Hove Albion. Hinchelwood, generally a midfielder, preferred at right back. Looks to come forward, looks to throw towards the halfway line. Gets it into Ruta. Ruta chests it down but can't keep the ball in play. Right in front of Fabian Hertzler, who's in the technical area to the left of the halfway line. Williams throws it back into the Forest half, which is to the right of the halfway line, and Murillo goes back to Sells. Sells to Milenkovic. Milenkovic a straight ball up, looking for the header Gibbs-White, who gets above everybody and heads it cross-field. Estepina under pressure from Dominguez. Inside it goes. Nice play to Ayari. Ayari out to Mitoma, who tries to run and spin outside of Aina. Aina's back goal side. And also covering back there was Dominguez to put it out of play on the far side of the field for a Brighton throw. Hard work going on at the moment from both of these sides. You know, Espirito Santo wouldn't be drawn onto what was his prerogative in the season. He literally said each game, the one in front of us, is the most important game, which is a good response. Currently sit 3rd in the Premier League, well with a chance of Champions League football next year. Minte gets the ball, goes back to Van Hecker. Van Hecker 6 yards inside the Brighton half, which is to the left of the halfway line. Square to Webster. Webster, left foot addressed, looking out to the right. Rucha's got in behind, gets there first, but his first touch is then cleared by Murillo. Back up this near side, quick throw. Anderson forward, helped on by Gibbs-White. Awoniyi does well, almost turns a reverse ball through the gap, blocked by Hinchelwood. Midway inside the Forest half, headed away by Milinkovic to Dominguez. Dominguez to Aina. Aina caught up and faced off by Mitoma. Sends the ball back infield to Yates. Yates to Anderson. Anderson to Danilo. Danilo 6 yards inside the Forest half. Plays it to the left-sided centre half of Forest Murillo. Back inside to Anderson. Anderson going forward but not really opening up into the field of Awoniyi, who tries to get away from two. Manages to tow it backwards to Yates. Anderson wants some width down the flanks here, which would have normally been provided by Langer and Hudson-Odoi, who are both on the bench. We'll talk about the benches in just a moment, but in the end, intricate play by Forrest on the far side, seeing the ball go out of play. Adingra, Cashin, Dunk, Gomez, Gruda, Adro, McGill, O'Reilly and Tasker are the boys on the bench for Brighton, whilst it's Bolly, Miguel, Elanga, Hudson-Odoi, Jota Silva, Morato, Moreno, Sangare and Toffolo on the bench for Forest. Ruta on the spin, goes forward, tries to slip it in behind, looking for Minte. Strong challenge in the middle of the park by Anderson. Dominguez shortly held back on the far side. Balaba wins it back, Estepina. Balaba shows a little too much, gets it back though to Webster. Webster square on this near side to Van Hecker, who's caught late by Awoniyi. Down in the heap as well. Peter Banks, our referee, will have a little look. Brighton do have a reasonable, I would say, injury list. Igor, Tagot, Karioglu, Lamptey, March, Milner, Steele and Veltman all out injured. Not really making too much of an effort to get the ball there. Van Hecker is back on his feet. Halfway line, Hinshelwood has the ball. Plays it back to Van Hecker. Van Hecker out on the far side. Estepina finds Mitoma. Mitoma with two to get past. Plays it inside. Crossfield ball, it's a long ball across field. Not a bad idea. We already had seen the run round the back by Minte, but unfortunately the ball was too long for the Swedish international. He will no doubt say you should have been on your toes a bit quicker. Ball goes back to Milenkovic, and Milenkovic goes back to the keeper, Sells, who thumps a long ball forward. Aina, Dominguez. Dominguez, lovely ball near side. Nico Williams, the target, might just arc away from him. He's going to stop the ball just inside the dead ball line. In the end, it's Carlos Balaba that slaps the ball out of play for a corner to Nottingham Forest. The second of the game, and it's a second Nottingham Forest corner. Goal away to my left-hand side. For Bruggen will look out to his right, which is right down by the point of my left shoulder as I sit straddling the halfway line. Into the 12th minute we go. Danilo to take. Murillo is up. Milenkovic is up too. Danilo will swing it away from the goal. As I look to the penalty area, Van Hecker with the header away. Put back in by the head of Anderson. Underneath it, a couple of players go back to back. In the end, Peter Banks says there's a flag for offside. It was Yates that was working incredibly hard. So it goes up on the far side. Still goalless here. Forward. Lifts it up towards the Brighton penalty area away to my left. Headed in there, this time on this near side by Milling. Time ball to give White, who hooks a good looking ball into the Brighton penalty area, but there's no red Forest shirt.
turns, lifts it in towards a penalty spot. Awoniyi goes in, but it's easily caught by Verbruggen, safely above his head. Pulls it out underarm, straight to the feet of Balaba. Balaba tries to break forward for Brighton, looks for Minte on this near side, but it's behind him, too strong, and out of play for a throw on this near side. It's fancy at the moment. It's Nottingham Forest that have got the lion's share of possession, which I think is fairly evident, but they just seem to carry a little bit more threat as well on the field of play at the moment, and that's strange to say when you've got the likes of Minte and Mitoma either side of the front man Danny Welbeck. Ball back in the Brighton penalty area, away to my left, Verbruggen to Van Hecker, square to Webster. Webster 12 yards shy of the halfway line. Infield it goes, stood between the two centre-halves is Balaba, back to Webster. Webster, the left-sided centre-halves up and over the halfway line. Short pass this time to Ayari, back to Balaba. Balaba with a left to right, looking for Minte, but again, it's too long, too strong. And rifles its way out of play on this near side. Forest with their two in the shape of Elanga and Hudson-Odoi. Well, they were sat wrapped up warm on the substitutes bench. Thrown long, helped on by Awoniyi. Lovely ball that by Dominguez. Hooked it blindly midway inside his own half, out to the right back Aina. Aina advances to 12 yards shy of the halfway line before playing it to Anderson. Anderson to Danilo. Danilo back to Murillo. To Anderson, through to Gibbs-White. What a flick that is by Gibbs-White, by the way. Gets it back from Danilo. Sort of dragged it and backheeled it all in one. It was a lovely touch. Gibbs-White on the ball again. Plays it out to Williams. This time not such a good ball. Straight ball is very simple. Nico Williams caught on his heels. Well, we're into the 24th minute of the game here. Forest have had the lion's share. They'll be happy with the way the game is somewhat panning out at the moment, but it's still goalless between these two very good quality sides from the Premier League in a very open FA Cup campaign this year. And also, as the ball breaks from Welbeck to Mitoma on the halfway line, short pass inside to Ayari, back to Webster, out on the far side to Welbeck, who comes in from the left wing, back to Ayari. Ayari back to Webster, Webster square to Van Hecker. Brighton try and make their way forward. Route out, first time layoff. The ball played in by Ayari. It's a bit too long and strong and allows Aina to go away on the far side of the pitch. Aina rolls it back into his own penalty area where Milenkovic goes square, 12 yards inside his own penalty area to Murillo, the left back. Well, he's not the left back, he's a left-sided centre-half, but he's playing in the left-back position, plays it down the line, tries to find Danilo. And it goes out of play off of Hinchelwood for a throw right on the halfway line, which is bisecting the two technical areas down beneath my feet. And Nico Williams will be the man that comes forward to take this throw in for Nottingham Forest. 25 on the clock, Brighton 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Just the one save really from Verbruggen, from Awoniyi. His shot across the face of goal. Verbruggen down by his left post. Saved it going across the face of his goal with an outstretched right boot. That's the closest. And the early work inside the first 25 mainly coming or carrying more threat from the away side, the visitors Nottingham Forest. Dominguez to Milenkovic, back to Dominguez, who rolls it all the way back to Matt Sells in the goal line to my right and sweeps it out then to Murillo. Murillo faced by Welbeck, goes back to Matt Sells, stops the ball by his penalty spot in his penalty area away to my right hand side. Smites the ball forward, right-footed, looks for Gibbs-White, headed away by Webster. Mitoma can't get the bouncing ball. And Dominguez lofts the ball back towards his own penalty area. It's out back by Milenkovic to Sells. No real danger from Brighton. Sells rolls it out to Milenkovic. Milenkovic to Anderson. Anderson out to Ola Aina, faced by Mitoma. Mitoma forces him back into his own half, the Brighton man. Aina, though, to Anderson. Anderson inside to Milenkovic. Milenkovic gallops up towards the halfway line, but edging slightly left and plays the ball out to the left back Williams. Williams back to Murillo. Round the corner looking for Danilo. Misses him. Clear forward. Van Hecker to Welbeck. Welbeck's trying to find Mitoma. Does find Mitoma. Chance outside the box here. Can he take on his man? Slips it back into Welbeck. Ball comes out. First time shot from 22 yards by Ayari. Has it taken a deflection? Has it gone wide? Along the floor. Sells was going away to his left-hand side. The first sign of the teeth of the animal that is Brighton. Having a go there. Can't see any touch on that myself, but we'll wait to see what our referee Peter Banks has said. Peter Banks believes there was a flick on a Forest player. I'm not so sure having seen it. Corner to Brighton.